I think bullying's it's a prolonged action that happens over a long period of time, and because of that it affects both the perpetrator and the victim equally, and their families and their friends as well are also affected by their actions. Since I came to Horbury School, I've always had an interest in anti-bullying work that can go on in schools and projects that are run in school to promote anti-bullying and things like that. And when the advert for CyberMentors came along, it was a perfect opportunity for me to get involved in a project in school that would be really worthwhile and would really use my knowledge and interest in anti-bullying for a good use. From the outset, I didn't really know what we're going to be involved in CyberMentors because it was a new initiative. There was nothing online I could look at, research or anything like that to know what CyberMentors would involve. We knew from the advert that it was going to be an online mentoring scheme, but we didn't really know the ins and outs of it and what would happen. But I think that once we'd had the training and things like that, I think it really opened my eyes as to what the project was going to be about. I think CyberMentors has been a lot more than what I originally thought it was going to be about. There's a lot more to it than what I originally thought, and especially since we started doing face-to-face mentoring, that has really opened avenues within the group that we can now explore. Because when we first started out, it took us about a year to get up and running with the face-to-face mentoring scheme. It was originally just all online, that's what we did, and we did some bits and bobs around school about promoting anti-bullying. But for me, I've been involved in presentations, conferences. I've done work with Year 6 students around Taste Today and things like that have again promoted CyberMentors and the anti-bullying work we're doing in school, and it's also made me more confident, because when I first started CyberMentors I had no confidence at all. I could go through a full day of school without talking to anybody other than answering my name in a register, and for me personally, if that's all I got out of CyberMentors, I'd be happy. But I've got a lot more out of doing that, and I think that for anybody who wants to be for all CyberMentors, I think that is the one main thing everybody gets out of it. Personally, I think we should do something to address both parties. I think the way forward is restorative work with both parties, and it's with the victim, it's giving them strategies to deal with bullying, and with the perpetrator, it's a case of showing them that their actions are wrong and showing them the right and wrong. And because some of the people who do bully, they don't know that what they're doing is wrong, and I think that that's one thing that we need to tackle as CyberMentors. And I think that's an area that we should go into now. We shouldn't just be mentoring the person who's being bullied, because at the end of the day, they shouldn't have to make any changes. It's not their fault that they've been bullied. So I think that it's a case of now it's the perpetrators that need to be targeted, and I think they need the restorative work and they need help and mentoring and to realise that what they're doing is wrong. I think that giving potential bullies and people who've got behaviour issues, giving them the opportunity to get involved in projects that we run in school, such as the School Report and other projects in school that require hands-on activities and things like that. I think that is definitely one way that that in itself is mentoring. You might not be sat in a table looking at somebody's planner and saying how many stamps you got in this lesson and how many notes you got in that lesson, but mentoring there's no one way of mentoring somebody. Everybody does it in a different way, and I think that from my personal experience, I think that doing projects like the School Report and working with people whose behaviour isn't, it's not top notch, it's not what teachers expect, but just like it goes back to this whole thing of showing an interest in them and showing them a new skill and something that they can then focus on, and it just takes it's an avenue that they've probably never explored before, and it just takes the mind off the behaviour aspect of things, and it's just showing an interest in them again, really, and I think that it works wonders with. I think something that I try to portray personally is that I'm by no means perfect, and I think that anybody who says they are is lying to you, because there's nobody who's perfect, and I think that that's something that, again, mentoring, when you're mentoring somebody, if that person knows that you're not perfect, and if they know that you're not expecting them to be perfect, I think that that's something that eases things straight away. And I think that with areas in school like the base and things like that where vulnerable students can go, I think that the presence of Year 11s in there and other students who in school are seen as role models and who are seen to be, you know, when you've got things like prefects and things like that coming into the base, it straight away eases the stigma that is often attached to places like the base and things like that. And I think that when those students can see that you're coming in here just like they are, you're seen to be one of them and you seem to be the same as them, and no longer are they different, which is often what people in school portray them as. While I've been a part of the CyberMentors in Horbury School, I've gained a lot of confidence. I've been part of conferences, I've been part of presentations to Year 6s whilst it's been Year 6 transition. I've been part of open evenings, I've talked to parents, I've talked to staff, and I think that whilst my confidence has been growing and whilst I've been able to talk to staff and parents, it's made me have quite a good relationship with staff in school that's made me able to approach them, to talk to them about CyberMentors, to talk about what we're doing, and to often argue my case towards what the group are doing and what we want to propose and things like that. And I think that, again, CyberMentors has made that possible, and I think without it I probably wouldn't be where I am today. I think that peer mentoring does work. I think it's a new thing. It's not been done a lot, but I think that from the experiences we've had within our group, and I think the work I've done with students in school, I think that it's definitely the way to go now. I think that students being able to talk to people of their own age, I think that straight away, I think that eases the tension that often is there when you're talking to a member of staff. I think that more often than not, I know all our group have been through bullying at some point in school, and as I said earlier, I think we're not all perfect. We all know we've all had times when we've not behaved as well as we should have done and things like that. I think that from my point of view, from the mentoring I've done, I think that's definitely made peer mentoring easier for me, because I think that I can relate to students better than a member of staff probably can. I'm closer to their age, I've possibly got the same interests as them, and I think that it's the way forward. I think it's something that should be taken more seriously within schools, and I just think it works.